Hey, I was just sitting here cleaning out my refrigerator when I realized I need to do this video. I need to give a visual. I need you to see me, and so you can see my earnestness, and so I won't be writing a book because I'm an author. Anyway, I stand behind the post that I did about the work that the and plumbers did. You got to understand, they did not have to plumb anything in my home. They only had to reassemble the piping underneath because the actual issue that had happened, which we didn't know about, which was the little plastic forks that they give out at the like your job luncheons or whatever, somehow one of those things, because we don't use those here in my home. We use actual silverware. So somehow one of those things ended up in my sink, unbeknownst to, now I didn't do the dishes the night of this apparent happening. I'm not the one that did the dishes, but that person would not have known. And apparently in the dishwater, I guess when washing dishes, they didn't know that it was in the water, and apparently it went down the sink. I don't know. I'm assuming with that part. But when the sinks actually clogged, number one, my husband was going to fix the issue himself. He actually works at Lowe's. He was going to fix the issue himself. Number two, we are older. Number three is that it wasn't the issue of getting like it was not a grease issue. It was not a issue of like unclogging. Well, kind of it was an issue of unclogging, but my husband had did that work. So when we had the plumbers come to the house, it was because they needed to finish the job. My husband had already unclogged everything, but it was a matter of fitting everything back together. And yeah, it like days, it like, listen, life happens, and life was happening to the point that we were almost a week out from getting this sink fixed, and we needed our sink fixed. And so my husband told me to call a plumber. I looked it up, called the plumber, bam. Okay, so now here's the update, and I'm sharing this update because I want you guys to know this. So 2 days later, after getting the plumbing done, I noticed that now I know everything underneath my sink is completely brand new. Like everything. The plumbers didn't even have to bring anything. Everything under the sink is brand new. So I know there is no clog nowhere under my sink. But I noticed that it's still going down kind of slow in comparison to the bathroom. So I called the plumber to come back out. Remember, there's a warranty. Well, I didn't tell y'all that part. There's a warranty, like a 1 year warranty. So when the plumber came out the second time, it's a different guy, same service, different guy. They came out the second time, and when they came out, I showed him my bathroom sink, and I said, "You see how quick this water is going down?" I said, "Now look at the kitchen sink." And so when he looked at it, immediately what he said was, because, and I explained to him, like, you can look at my piping under the sink. Everything is clean, it's spotless, like it's brand spanking new. And so he said that the problem could be that it is the line that goes, like, once it goes from these pipes, there's a line that goes down under the house. He said the problem could be there, and that there's a drain issue. It could be a lot of grease. Now listen, we didn't buy this house brand spanking new. So people lived in this house long before we moved and lived here. You understand? So it could have been a lot of stuff. I know I don't pour grease down the drain. I mean down the drain. I don't do that. So I told him, like, the pricing, asked him the pricing and everything, and he gave me the pricing, and I was like, yeah, I talked to my husband about it. And in all honesty, I didn't, because when I heard the pricing to clear that drain, to push whatever is down there straight out to the city sewage, like, I was like, ooh, my husband's like, I'll go for that. Like, I am not about to mess with him on this one, not right now. Anyway, fast forward let's see, that was 2 days after, I would say 3 days later, which would be 5 days out now from when they first came out and did an excellent job on my plumbing, like absolutely excellent. And you got to understand that I respect the comments that were shared where there was some who had a negative um, uh, uh, interaction with them. I respect that. I respect that because it, like, for them that was real, but that wasn't my thing. But then they did not have to, like, sew anything, or they didn't have to do none of it. All they had to do was come fix the puzzle back together. Puzzle. Come put the thing back together underneath, because we just couldn't do that. Like, that was it. That was it. So it wasn't no big, pull out your equipment, do the, it wasn't none of that. None of that. It was just putting it back together for us, helping us out, being that third man, get down under there and take care of that for us. And they did a really excellent job. And to be a whole week without a kitchen sink running, like, listen, the minute it got fixed, I was just ecstatic, and I'm still ecstatic about it. So anyway, 5 days out now. I told y'all what happened on the third day. It was running slow. He said that the backup could be in the drain that is under, and he answered all of my questions. Like, I was like, well, why is the bathrooms not running like that? Both the bathrooms are running fine. There's no backup anywhere else but here. And he explained to me, and I'm sharing this so that you guys would know. He explained to me that there's a different piping, I guess, under the house for the bathrooms than it is for the kitchen, and then it all pipes out to that main city sewage line. And so if the line, like, for instance, if there was an issue with the bathroom, you wouldn't see that in the kitchen because these are different lines. You guys got that part. So anywho, 5 days out now. On the fifth day, I was doing dishes in the kitchen, and one of the things I do is I wash the dishes before I put them into the dishwasher. So you'll never have an instance with me having a dishwasher that backs up because of stuff getting up in there, because my dishes are clean when they go in there. I just like the extra clean. Call it what you made. That's just how I am. Like, I like it sterilized. So I knew it wasn't a dishwasher issue. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to help my plumbing go down a little quicker, so I had the bright idea to plunge it. Now, keep in mind, I never told my husband about the issue with it running slow. I just never mentioned it to him because I just didn't want to weigh him down with that. Not at that moment. I wanted to kind of wait it out some until I was able to kind of help towards paying for it, because I would have paid for that and I would have lost my money. And I'm about to get to that point with you guys. So what I did was I'm plunging the sink. I'm just a plunging. And then I'll plunge the other side. And then I'm just a plunging. And, well, what I did not know is that because there is no sealant tape, no nothing that's holding the sink together, and my brother-in-law was here today to go through, and he was able to confirm, it's not nothing under it, and it doesn't need it. Like, most people will seal it with the sealing tapes. They might even use cement, and the plumbers really don't like for that to be used because of the fact that if you ever need to get under there, it's hard to get under there because you done sealed it closed. So we don't have that issue. Again, everything under there is brand spanking new now. So I'm plunging it, not thinking that I'm loosening anything up. Anyway, I'm standing at the sink, plunging, trying to help it. And next thing I know, there's a big old gush and water, and the water just went down real good. Why? Because it spilled all out on my feet. And it did that because in the plunging it, I was unknowingly loosening what the work that was done, completely messed it up. So I had to call them again, and I let my husband know, and I got them right on out here. They got out here like by that evening. my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, they were on their way here from another state. But my brother-in-law actually owns homes. And I asked him, I got on the phone with him and I asked him, I say, have you ever dealt with this where the clog is not in the kitchen sink, but it's under it's under the house? What do you do? How do you get that out? And so I'm sharing this video now because I want to tell you these things. So there is a tool called a drain bladder, drain cleaning bladder, drain cleaning bladder. Go look it up. Look it up on YouTube. So what it is it is. Oh, I'm about to. I hope I'm not turning red. I'm turning red. Okay, so it's a contraption that will fit onto your water hose, and it's like a little penis. I'm sorry. It comes in 3 different sizes: small, medium, and large. I would say, like, if you need it for your sink, to get the medium size one. But anywho, because this is something that you can literally do, like they did it, and it's so easy to do, so easy to use. But anyway, I say that it's like a little penis because it is. So it's this little black contraption. It's like about $14, maybe somewhere between $12 and $14 for the medium size one, lesser for the small one, and then there's a bigger one that is a little bit more, under $20. Anyway, you hook it on to the hose, your water hose from outside, and you that part of the kitchen pipe that goes back into the wall, that drops down and go down into that main sewer line. So what you do is you'll take it and you put it up in there. And when you stick it up in that hole, it's going to, because of the water, it's going to balloon out. And when it balloons out, there's a little bitty hole at the tip of it that pushes the water out. So the thing, like, once you take it out, the water is still up in there, like whatever water was in that hose, so it's going to run out. So you're going to definitely need a bucket, because it's going to run out. And it's like the little thing is peeing. That's why I call it a penis. Y'all forgive me. I'm so embarrassed, but there's no other way to share this. There's no other way to share that. So we put it up in there, and my brother-in-law was telling me what it was going to sound like. It was going to sound like whistling, like pressure, like whistling or pressure, because it's pushing. That water will push whatever that blockage is straight through. Well, how about we didn't hear that? None whatsoever, because there was no blockage up under the house. There was literally no blockage up under the house. The drain line, all of that was fine. But let me tell y'all what happened. The water started running off of my roof. The blockage was not under my house, y'all. For my kitchen, it was not under my house. It was on top of the roof. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? My sink, the blockage from my kitchen sink was not under the house. It was not a grease thing. It was not a pallop of grease. It was none of that. It was on top of my roof. And what the issue was, my brother-in-law had to now get up on the roof, because when my husband started seeing that, I'm thinking, like, is it raining outside? But when he started seeing that water, my husband called through and he's like, it's coming off the roof. And we're like, off the roof? So my brother-in-law got up on the roof, and how about this? Y'all know them little acorns them little acorns? Well, it's easy for us to want to blame the squirrels, but the squirrels could have added to it. But there are pipes that it's about maybe that big, maybe like the little white hose pipes. And what it is what I was told is that those pipes release the air so that when you're like draining water or however, that it won't bubble over or bubble like back or something about the pressure to help it go down. So listen, after he got all them little acorns and stuff out of that container as much as he could get out of that thing. They went to Lowe's and they bought some caps to put over it so that when those things, because them things gonna fall out the trees anyway. You know, like you can't help that. It's gonna fall out the trees. But how about that was the issue? That was the issue. And how about this? That saved us hundreds to thousands of dollars. Now, our first thought, and this is why I wanted to share this video, our first thought when it comes to plumbing issues is grease. It's not always grease. The second thought, it could be tree limbs. That was my thought, because while everybody was around here talking about grease, I'm like, I don't pour grease down the sink. So it's not grease, it's not me. Y'all pouring it down there, because I'm not pouring the grease down there. So it wasn't the grease, it wasn't that, it wasn't even the drain. My sink runs perfectly fine. The water runs down like it should. The issue was on top of the roof. And check it out. Check your roofs out. Rule that out. The thing, and listen. If you don't have an issue with your sink, get up on your roof and go and look and see, because there's two of those things on the roof. We got one for the washing machine, and one so it's on this end, and then one on the other end, which is for the sink. And what those things do, they're like vents, like pipes, but they're like vents. But what they do is it has something to do with the pressure or with the water being able to flow down. I can't explain that, but anywho, get somebody, if you haven't done this, get somebody to get up on your roof and make sure that those things have a cover over it. You still want the air to be able to flow through, but you want it to be covered so that while the air is flowing out or flowing through, nothing from the outside can drop down in. And that's the purpose of my doing this video and telling my story. So again, I don't want to take away from the story of the one young lady that I can't remember her name, but bless her heart, what she shared that she went through, man, I can't even imagine. So I could understand her issue with that particular company. And let me say this, I want to thank her, because it was her sharing her story that made me decide that I did not want them to come out and do anything else. What I needed them to do, they did it, and they did a great job, and I was grateful for that. But they did try to call me and offer a complimentary cleaning or whatever, and I was like, yeah, no. And my decision for no was purely based off of what she shared. I'm like, I didn't need all that extra, so thank you, but this was all that I needed. And all that I needed was for them to just put my sink back together, put the piping and stuff back together, and they did a great job with it. They really did a great job with it. But yay, my issue was not under the house. Yay! I'm so happy about that. But my issue was on top of the roof. So y'all go on top of your roof. Get somebody to go up there and look for those. It's like again, they stick right up out the roof like a vent, but make sure it's covered, because you don't want to spend anywhere from $500 to $2,500 cleaning out the piping from up under your house when that wasn't even an issue. So thank you, Lord. All right, that's all I got for y'all. Be blessed. I hope this helps, and this is my update to the plumbing service that I had. Bye for now. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.